And we are on. My goodness, my goodness, my goodness. Good morning. Hello there. Today, I'm I'm really proud of myself because so far this is the only morning, the only live that I have done that I haven't had any technical things go wrong. It's been pretty crazy. There's always something that goes wrong. Last week it went fine, and then for some reason my camera decided to overheat, and so it just went blip. I was like, oh shit. But we got it working. We're going. I'm on this new software, so I'm trying to get to grips with that at the same time. Lots of moving parts. I'm whole sort of new to this YouTube thing, but welcome guys. Welcome. Good morning. I have my cup of tea, which took a few minutes longer than planned. But that's fine. And I see some of you have coffee, tea, that sort of stuff. Hello from the UK. Hello there. I've heard that the weather's been pretty awful back in that part of the world. That part of the world seems like a grey part of the world these days. But yeah, I've got my tea. Kettle has been on. I'm ready. Let's do this thing. Let's hit the ground running. If you are new here, I am George. I was diagnosed with brain cancer back in August 2024. Had some surgery back in October, just gone. And I'm sharing that whole journey here on this little YouTube channel of mine. If you have absolutely any questions, and I mean anything, as dark as you want to go, as deep as you want to go, philosophy, I love any lifestyle stuff, anything specific to the cancer situation, the cancer journey that I'm on at this point, throw them in the chat. I will answer to the best of my ability every single one of them, every single one. And George, guten Morgen, how are you today? Thanks for joining in, man. We really do need to link up at some point. We'll make it happen. I appreciate you joining on. Appreciate every single one of you. I mean, it's kind of crazy when I think about it that there's people all around the world doing their thing, and then they're like, "Hey, George is on a live. Let's join in." It's just kind of crazy. Technology is crazy. Kes Hero, good morning. We are hitting the ground running with some questions. Let's have a look. Okay, Trip, hello there. I understand this is your first time on here. Welcome. Hi George, I got a question. Let me pin this just so that we are... Oh, come on. Like I was saying, there's always technical issues. There we go. Okay. It is about reading up on cancer things. Is the focus on general treatment traditional or focused on what is the new latest? I mean, is there so much reading up on? Ooh, good question. So... where do you start with that sort of question? It's a very I mean, there's so many rabbit holes you can go down with this sort of thing. So the thing that I've found with cancer is that there is no right answer. Okay, there are so... You don't need to apologize, Trip. I love these sort of questions because they're kind of wide. They're not really specific. So one thing I've found is that with cancer, there is no right answer, and every single person is unique. And among that, you've got a unique person, but among that, you've got unique cancers. Okay, so every single cancer will... They kind of react and operate slightly different from each other, especially when you consider that the person is unique and has their own body. You know, every single one of us, we all know this, operates in a slightly different way. So it's very easy and very quick to end up down a rabbit hole of all these different options, and it's paralyzing because there are so many options that you can't make a decision, and that brings a lot of stress to people. And it's that whole thing of if you're lost in the desert, the stress isn't that that there's like you're lost in the desert. The stress is that there are so many options of what direction to go, and you can sit there and hold that weight on yourself and be like, well, this is shit. I don't know what to do. I'm going to panic. I don't know what to do. So translating that into the cancer world and the various multitude of treatments and options we have available, for me, it was about especially at the start when I was diagnosed in August 24, it was like, okay, let's have a look at some of these options. Let's just go exploring. Let's see what there is out there. Let's learn a little bit about each of them. And then it's about making that decision of, this is the thing that resonates with me most. This is something that I think I can be consistent with, is a massive thing. It's not a short game, this game that I'm playing. So we've got to find the thing that kind of feels right to me as an individual, to you as an individual, and then move on it, take action. The whole consistency thing is, I would argue, one of the most important things when it comes to this. It is a long game. You have to be able to keep going on it. Hopping and changing, I don't think it's particularly productive. Consistency always trumps tenacity. So it's about just going, continuing. For me, I didn't feel... Excuse me, I'm just going to have a slurp. For me, I didn't feel that there was the traditional routes, the standard of care, as they call it, that's chemo, radio, surgery side of things. I didn't want to jump straight into it because I'd heard a long time ago of people having long-term issues arise because of having that. And I felt that those three options are very aggressive in nature. You're either going to cut, burn, or poison. And I knew that I wanted to spend some time really considering those things rather than handing it over to the medical professionals and giving them complete control over my care. I wanted to know what's going on, why, and how, so that I can make an educated decision specific to me and what resonates with me. Hannah, you're on here. Rise and shine. Hello. So that's where I was at in terms of the standard of care. I didn't want to just jump in straight away. I wanted to learn about it. So for me, I wanted to find, what can I do? How can I take ownership of my health on a level that gives me agency, that gives me a chance to feel like I'm in control, I have power over this? Because you can turn around and be the victim and say, well, this is it, I'm done. Yeah, cool, I'm just going to hand it all over and we'll see. And I knew that if at some point, all of us are going to die, right? We don't know what from. It could be tomorrow I get hit by a bus and all of this cancer stuff is blown out the water. So for me, it was how to describe it? I want to know that the life I have led up until that point, I have lived with absolute consistency and tenacity for who I am. I want to know that I've put in the work, I've done everything I can do to bring the guns to bear, to make the most of this weird thing we call life. And so that's where I'm at. I have had general standard of care treatment. I have had surgery. So back in October, had surgery. They went in, just in here. You can't even see the scar now. It's kind of crazy, but it is in there. So they went in, they did a partial, they basically debulked it slightly, the bits that they could get to safely. The cancer I have is astrocytoma, so it kind of wiggles its way into the healthy brain tissue. So they can't just get in there with a spoon and scoop the whole lot out. It means that with surgery, it's still there, one way or another. They cannot do anything about that. So I went in for surgery mainly because the cancer, according to scans, was showing that it was maybe starting to become more active. So it was like, okay, well, let's get the majority of it out for now, and then we can buy time, we can look at other options. I have gone hardcore down the alternative, I hate that word, alternative treatment, because it suggests that it's not as good or that it's sidelined. So I'm on a whole protocol, which I've actually got here. It's one of the things I was thinking of chatting to you guys about. If you're interested, let me know in the comments. So I've got a whole protocol, and the whole idea of that is I'm going to bring as much as I can to bear on this that I have control over. And then if it all fails, something goes awry, cancer keeps growing, I don't know, then I can start to look at these other tools within the mainstream side of things. That's a very long answer to your question, Trip. Sorry if that was a bit of a dwindle. I get on train of thoughts here and I just end up going. I hope it's of value to you guys. Let's have a look at some of these questions. George Ellsworth, if I fly out that way again, we should definitely meet up. Yes, for sure. Although it is a very interesting time to be flying. And fuel prices, man, I wonder if we'll all be, I don't know, I wonder if we'll be flying around much more, at least for the foreseeable future. Let's see. Thank you for all your comments, guys. Yeah, if you have any questions, chuck them in the comments. More than happy to answer anything. It's dark. I really enjoy the dark questions, because one of these protocols that I was talking about, the foundation of it all is a positive mental attitude, is looking at this as a gift. You know, in life, the biggest problems that come and slap us in the face are always wrapped up as a gift. They are a gift to us, those problems, and it's all about perspective. So it's huge. Oh man, let's see. But I would love to have you here, George. Come along. It'd be great to see you again. We're in different treatments, and Trip. So we all respond differently, and that is the beautiful thing, is that we have that opportunity to find what works with us, both physically, mentally, socially, spiritually, across the board, and make those decisions rather than feel like a victim and in that position of perceived lack of control. Okay, Demby. Hold on, I've missed something from you, I believe. Then I had 12 litres of fluid around the lung. My word. That sounds challenging. Ooh. How's he doing? Is he doing all right now? I think you may have sent another comment before, but I don't know why it's disappeared on my chat feed. TR Guy, George, when you become very worried and can't sleep at night, how do you turn your mind off? Ooh. So, that happens very rarely for me. And I think the reason it's so rare is because, I'm going to move this for you guys because I'm not sure you can see that because of the light. It doesn't really happen for me because I've worked incredibly hard on my mental resilience, mental strength, agility, having control as such of my thought patterns and structures. So when I do have those nights of being like, head is going, I've got all these problems that are coming up or rising, and I have anxiety about the next day or the future or problem solving, like how do I make this better for myself? Big thing is just actively recognizing that you're having those thoughts, standing third party to them, and just looking at them. Not sitting on the roller coaster of those thoughts, but recognizing that they are just thoughts. That's it. That is all they are. And so if we can stand third party and watch them, it reduces drastically the amount of anxiety, at least for me, that starts to form. That puts me into a position of peace. I balance that out. So one of the tools, and I've mentioned this before in this chat, but one of the tools that I use pretty much daily is when I have those negative thoughts, those anxiety-inducing thoughts that come to the forefront, is step third party, look at them as that third party, and then actively look for the positive or the benefit or the opportunity that comes with that potential future. So we're trying to balance it out. We're trying to, like a seesaw. So we've got those negative thoughts, those it could be anxiety or stress or fear or whatever it is. We have that emotional response. We have to find the opposite in order to find that balance. And then when we find that balance, you can fall asleep. That's how I deal with it, at least. having good sleep routine is huge. Going to bed at the same time, or trying to, not eating, not drinking, kind of 2 hours ish before sleep. Obviously, it's hard to do that consistently because stuff comes along, but if we can all try our best, that's the best we can do, right? Let's have a look. Kes, gotta go. Okay, Kes, sleep well. I hope to see you soon at some point. That would be cool. That'd be really cool. Kes, am I still using your spaceship? Right, shine. Yes. So I have a weekly protocol, which is pretty intense. So every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I do at least an hour and a half in my spaceship. For those that don't know, my spaceship is it's a hyperbaric oxygen chamber. So it pressurizes down to 1.3 ATA, so it's like being 3 meters underwater. And then you have a little nasal prong which pumps in 95% oxygen. And so with high quantity of oxygen and the pressure, it floods your system with oxygen to like a next level degree. If you don't know, cancers basically struggle in highly oxygenated environments. So it's got to be done consistently, regularly, but it has been shown to help with healing, help with a whole host of different things. I can go into detail on that at a later date if you guys are interested. Just let me know in the comments. I'd love to know. But yes, I do that. And then every Tuesday and Thursday of the working week, I have an IV vitamin C infusion. So I sit here and edit videos, and I've just got a little line in, and that IV vitamin C is crazy when you get into the detail of how it works with our biology. Very interesting. Let me know if you want to know more. Let's have a look. See, Denby. My brother, 39, started off with itchy skin, so I'm diagnosed with 40. Yeah, so it is awful. The sad reality, this blows my mind. There's a chart that I saw quite recently. So in the last 20 years, cancer rates have gone up 50%. In the last 30 years, cancer rates have doubled. So 1 in 2 people now are going to get cancer at some point in their life. 1 in 2. So there's like 10 of you watching. 5 of you at current rates will sadly get cancer. So it's about learning how to deal with it now. There's this wave of this issue, this health issue, that's going to absolutely hammer the world in not a long time and is already getting to that point. So yeah, it's kind of sad, but this is why I'm doing this channel, right? Is to hopefully provide some insights or some tools to be able to navigate this in a way that ultimately reduces that stress load and maybe provides a little bit of information that could save people's lives or give them some peace in life when these challenging things come along. It's very sad, very sad. TR Guy, I wish my brain was wired the same. When we get so stressed up, I've got to get out of bed until, again, tiredness overtakes me. Ooh, yeah. So there is if I may offer some advice in terms of the sleep side of things, check out a guy called Matt Walker. He has videos on YouTube. He does podcasts. There's a really good one with Joe Rogan from quite a while ago. Highly recommend. The insights he has, he's like a sleep guru, sleep expert. The insights he has are like the building blocks. They're the foundation for creating good sleep hygiene. So that's like step 1 in terms of trying to understand sleep. And that's the thing, people expect these sort of quick answers to their problems, right? For me, I found that in order to make the change that we know we need to make, we have to understand it on this next level. We have to understand something in order to have the action and the drive, the motivation to to go, okay, well, I'm not sleeping well, or I'm not getting fitter, or I'm putting on weight, or whatever it is. We've got to understand why. Rather than just look for somebody who's going to tell us this is what you're doing, you need to understand the background of it so that you can make the decision with your own agency, you know? Wow, we got loads of questions coming in. Thank you very much, team. Let's have a look. I'm going to replace. Okay. Rise and shine illustration. How do you handle cravings for foods that are off protocol? How do you stick to it diet-wise? Okay. I follow a very strict keto diet, almost carnivore diet. And that's mainly because of the research that I've done. It's called the metabolic approach to cancer. It's where you're reducing your blood sugars down as low for as long as possible without medications, because cancers run off of glucose and glutamine and a couple of other things, but only if they're really, really stressed out. So I'm on this diet. I have been since pretty much the week after diagnosis in August 2024. Do you know what's really interesting is I don't really get cravings. I think now that I've been consistent with it and I have trialed reintroducing things back into my diet, I end up having, like, I can feel how my body responds to that. If we're constantly hitting our body with foods that generally they have an inflammatory response, or they give us diarrhea, or whatever it is, we kind of become accustomed to that as normal. So stepping back, reducing to near enough a single food group gives your body a chance to recover, and then when you trial new things, you feel the response, and it's like, yeah, I'm not going to eat that because it's just not worth it. So that for me removed a lot of the cravings. Every now and again, when I get like ooh, it would be nice. Like last night, I was like, oh, it would be so nice to have like ice cream, or for some reason like a jam donut. You know, the ones where your lips get covered in icing sugar. And it's really interesting because I have this fleeting moment of fuck it, let's just do it. But then there's a part of me behind that. You know, that's your monkey brain, so to speak, coming forwards. That one that's trying to keep you alive. And it's like, sugar's really good. It's going to make me put on weight. I'm going to survive the winter. Great. But when I step back and I look at that and I recognize it, I know that food's not going to make me feel good. I know that that whole thing of your body is your temple, I almost see it as disrespecting myself and my health and my life choices by caving to those very almost animalistic cravings or tendencies. So that's how I kind of deal with the food craving side of things. It's not easy. I'm not going to be out here and lie to you guys. It's not easy at all, and it is a recurring thing. And that's that monkey brain coming in to say, we need to keep you safe, healthy, and alive. So we need to put some fat on for the winter. But if you can step back and just look at that and make the decision to be as respectful as you can to this meat suit that we all have, that we walk around in, I think that's a pinnacle of mental, physical, sort of social, psychological health and health. Yeah, that's how I do it. I hope that makes sense. Okay, let's have a look. Some more questions. Thank you for the comments, guys. If you have absolutely any questions, throw them in the chat. More than happy to answer anything. I really like dark ones. If you don't know who I am, I'm George. I was diagnosed with brain cancer. I'm sharing that journey here on YouTube. I'm trying to just get out there really and share that it's not necessarily the end of the world, that we do have a bit of control over it. Hello from Michigan and US. Hello there. Welcome. I'm doing well. Yeah. You know what? I've had some really interesting times over the last couple of months. So I was getting a lot of partial seizures for about 2-3 weeks. I was getting between 10 and 15 a day. And then I had 2 weeks completely seizure free, which was really weird to go from one then straight into the other. And then I've had kind of a little spattering of them here and there since then. Maybe like 1 or 2 a day, if that. Like today I haven't had any, yesterday I didn't have any, day before I didn't have any. So it's really interesting how they come and go. But I'm feeling good. I haven't had anything today, so feeling quite clear mentally, which is another thing about the diet. I feel very clear mentally when I'm not having seizures and energized. Who's doing all that as well as hyperbaric? Well, yes. Also did some coffee, and so there's so many different tools that you can add into, onto your belt to fight these things, and at least feel like we have something that we can bring to bear. We have some weapons to bear when it comes to this thing. We don't just have to hand over. It's so important to take control of the things that we can control, and that is everything: diet, lifestyle, mindset. We don't have to just hand that over to the medical professionals straight away. We have that choice. We can always decline anything. George, hope you're well. I was diagnosed with a grade 2 glioma and have surgery coming up. Matthew, I'm just going to pin your comment, my friend. Well, first off, that sounds challenging. It is challenging, speaking from experience. When were you diagnosed, if you don't mind me asking? So you have surgery coming up. Interestingly, I am, hopefully the end of today, I will be posting another video out on my channel, and it is specifically to do with my experience of brain surgery back in October. And that's the whole thing, from even just getting in the car to go and how I was feeling and the run up to that, all the way through to coming back home post and the 5 days that I had in hospital post surgery. It isn't as bad as we think it's going to be. And it's the... Even when we feel like we're losing in life, even when we feel like something is pushing us down and is shit, like whatever it is, we are always winning. Like up until this point, every single one of you guys watching this, every single one of you beautiful human beings sat on the other side of this camera, somewhere around the world, up until this point, you have overcome every single thing that has come to challenge you in life. And so to recognize it, you are so much stronger than you thought you are, or were. You are so much stronger than you think you are. Because even when we are tested to the nth degree, to that absolute point of just the end, you still recover from it. You still learn from it. It's still become a lesson. It's become a gift for the rest of your life, because your baseline of stress tolerance, your resilience in life has been shifted just that little bit more, so that the other things that come along, they're not as heavy. That you're like, okay, well, I overcame that. I can do this. But I'm sorry to hear about the grade 2. I am grade 3. Astrocytoma, so that is also one of the glioma family of cancers. I would say, if you're really worrying about it, and that is completely human and completely normal, there is nothing wrong with that. And for some reason, I don't know why, socially we almost like we shun these emotions that we get, and we put them in this little black box, and it's like, okay, yeah, I'm not meant to feel that way. Man, like, we're always going to have those emotions come. You have to. Like, we have to have happiness and we have to have sadness. We have to have that dichotomy. So if I may offer some advice, really spend time, spend energy, plan, become develop your resilience, your mental strength and agility, the ability to move between those emotions and recognize them and not let them control you. And when I went just before going into my surgery, the run up to surgery, about a month, I was doing meditation every day, like hardcore breath work. I was really trying to calm my nervous system, because I don't want to go into that surgery from a place of fear. Raised cortisol slows your healing. You come out with this kind of stress response. I wanted to go into that as calm as anything, so that when I pop out the other side, I'm like, okay, I can deal with this. It removes some of that stress and strain. And I can help you with that if you'd like. I am also today opening up consultations to help people specifically with their mindset around dealing with cancer, or anything that comes along in life, really, because we are all going to be tested in different ways, every single one of us. And ultimately, it's to provide tools and guidance to navigate these things that come along in life. I don't know if that's of interest, but I'll be posting that on my my Linktree and on my videos. Yeah, you can just follow through if that's of interest. I'd love to help you out. George, have you been able to maintain your appetite and weight? Yes. So my weight has maybe fluctuated about a kilogram. I have, with the carnivore diet and going to the gym 3 times a week, and like sauna and a few other things, I have maintained my weight within about a kilo. So I'm 75 kilos. I've leaned up. So yeah, I'm getting, finally, maybe getting some abs in here. I've always carried a bit of chub on the front of me and my hips. But I'm starting to lean up, and then also putting on some muscle. So taking that power, doing stuff that needs to be done. In terms of appetite, I've always had a good appetite. I do every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I do OMAD, 1 meal a day, usually dinner. Try and get my entire day's calories into that. And that's mainly because I then have a period of fasting, a good period of fasting. And that has multiple positives. Coming back to sleep, it will help you sleep, but big ones is it puts you into autophagy, which is where your body starts to search for kind of damaged, broken cells that it can recycle, because you've got no nutrition coming in. It can't make new things from that, new cells. So it starts looking for damaged cells, some of those being cancer. So it's another thing that I can do that brings the fight to this cancer thing that's going on for me. Highly recommend. Let's have a look. Matt Walker, check him out. He's awesome. Yes, for sure. Dark chocolate is a good one for cravings. Darker the better. David, yeah. So Annalise and I are both on at least the keto diet. Dark chocolate is, at least for Annalise, is certainly her go-to if there's like a craving to have something sweet. We tend to go for anything 90 above. 95 and above is great. You can get 100%. That's not so enjoyable, but yeah, I think per 2 squares for the chocolate we get is 1.3 grams of carb. I can have about 20 at max grams of carbs a day. I'm very, very sensitive to carbohydrate. It really throws my blood sugar up. Insulin goes all over the place, so got to be careful with it. But I could, in theory, if I decided to, eat a whole bar of chocolate. Oh man, but I'm not going to do that. Rise and shine, thanks for the chat. Sleep well. Thanks for coming along. Appreciate it, Han. Duck and dive. But, okay, Matthew, I was diagnosed in July. Had a mental breakdown in June. It is tough, man. It's really tough. The tumor was only found as I was assaulted in hospital and had to have... Wow. Whew. Yeah, so that is a challenge. That is certainly a challenge. It's all relative. Every single person is going to be challenged to that point, and arguably it's a good thing. It's a gift because it shifts our baseline of stress, our resilience, to that next level, and we're just going to keep pushing it. And it's the whole thing of you can't have character without struggle. So we have to go through those struggles in order to build who we are. But that sounds very challenging. If I can be of help or offer anything to support you, send me a message. Best way to send me a message is through my Instagram page. Find me on Insta, send me a message. More than happy to have a chat. I'd love to help you out. And my abs are just a bit bad. I got the same. I'm getting there. I am getting there. Slowly but surely. Better that slow, sure, rather than not. Thanks for all your support. I'm wishing you all the best, mate. I admire how you can talk about your journey. We can all be that way, Matthew. We really can. We really can. We just need to have some guidance, take some ownership, and recognize that we have that control, that agency. But like I said, yeah, if I can help, just ping me a message. And that goes for anyone on here. If you have any questions or struggles in life, if that shit has landed on your lap and you're like, what the fuck do I do with this? Send me a message. More than happy to help. The psychology side of things is my jam. It's what I do. It's the pinnacle. It's the foundation of life and how we perceive things. Life doesn't happen to us, it happens through us. So we have to learn how to think and feel. But we're not taught that, right? We're just told, this is your roller coaster of life. On you go. This is what it is. Whereas we have a choice on, do we enjoy the ups and downs, or do we just sit there and let life take us for a ride? Let's have a look. Hi, George, David. Please look into broccoli sprouts. Good. Yeah, so it's very... I have a lot of suggestions, and I love having them because it's opened my eyes to all these different options, protocols that we can bring in to help with these things. And there's research across the board for all sorts of different methods. It's like going on the vegan diet or the carnivore diet or having methylene blue or fenbendazole or whatever it is. There are endless options out there. I just needed to find the ones that resonate for me, what I think is consistent for me, and then just do it. Like, just get on with it kind of thing. Because it's paralyzing to have so many options and choices, and I can't do them all. So I have to draw the line somewhere. So for me currently, and that may change, I'm on keto / carnivore, so I'm pretty much cutting out every fruit and veg. The only ones I have are really low glycemic, so things like cucumber and courgette, mushrooms, although they're not vegetables. So that's kind of where I'm at. But I've heard about broccoli sprouts. I've heard about what's the other ones? There's just like pretty much everything and anything. Salvestrol is something might be of interest. Salvestrol is it's a compound found in the skins of things like grapes, other citrus fruit that they pull out of the fruit. You can have it as a pill. That has an enzyme in it that kind of gets into cancerous cells, like pre-cancerous cells, and it connects with certain little organelles within the cell and kind of stops it from progressing fully into cancer. Something to consider. Very interesting. How can I have fun alone? I have one crutch, one thing that I do, which I find is I use it as a tool. It's not an addiction as such, and it is gaming. So about once a week, I use my computer. I have a little gaming sesh on my own or with a friend online, and I find that is. We have two options, right? We can either still the mind, meditation, breath work, cold exposure, those sort of things, or we can fill the mind, and that's where it's like doing stuff that takes our brain away from this constant problem solving sort of road that you can get on. So the filling the mind for me is a bit of gaming every now and again, and I recognize that it's a tool as opposed to I'm just going to completely fill my mind and not recognize that I need to problem solve. I'm not just going to push that stuff to the side. I'm going to give my brain a chance to just stop for a bit, disappear in my case to another world, do other stuff where I know if I do X in a game, I'm going to get Y result. So I have periods to give my brain a chance to just relax, not be on this go. Gotta make a change. What can I do? What can I learn? How do I process this? How do I win this? It's so important to give that space. So important. And in terms of how can you find fun? Find a hobby. Just try stuff. Like I've started. we were sat watching a film, and I was sat there like, it's nice to watch film, but it'd be nice to do something like almost productive, something that I have a sense of achievement from and is wholesome, whatever that is. So I have started model making. I make little model tanks. Never done it before. I saw it online and I thought, well, I'll give it a go. I'm not going to judge it until I try it. And it's actually really enjoyable because you're just there doing your thing alone. Yeah, just having that space, having that time. That's how I do it. Anyway, that's how I do it. Doctor is talking about needles to shrink my cancer. Annette, hello there. Hello. Welcome back. When you say needles, what do you mean? Like, yeah, what do you mean? Is it going in or like what? Yeah. Can you explain? We've got new people joining. So hi guys, welcome. My name is George. I was diagnosed with brain cancer back in August 2024. It's great. Highly recommend. And yeah, I'm sharing that here on YouTube. So if you have any questions, queries, mumbles, grumbles, whatever you want to ask, throw them in the comments. More than happy to answer anything and everything. And that could be to do with philosophy. It could be, what's your favorite animal? On that note, this is a question for you guys. I really love this question. If you could be any animal, living or extinct, what animal would you be and why? It's so interesting when I ask that question, because particularly when I meet new people, I'll ask that question because it gives me an idea of who they are. Because some people will answer straight away, oh, I want to be a dog, or I want to be a cat, or whatever it is. And then you get the people who will go, interesting question, and they will think, and they really get into the depths of it, of what would I want to be, and then they come up with some really unique, in-depth kind of answer. So for me, I would either, and it's really hard, I would either be, and this is just for 24 hours, I would be something like a bacteria, or yeah, something like that. Something really, really small, just to see how do they perceive the world? How do they experience life? Like, do they experience life? How do they? Yeah, what is it to be that small? Maybe something like an ant as well, because similar sort of reason, and also they're, proportionally speaking, crazy fast and crazy strong. So it'd just be interesting to be able to, like a cheetah, you know. And the other one, and I've thought about this quite a lot, because when I ask this question, inevitably somebody goes, well, yeah, what's yours? So it's either something really small or something like, it's so hard, but something dinosaur based. Something dinosaur based, because like we've never experienced what they're like. And to be a dinosaur, maybe like a pterodactyl, something that flies, would just be really interesting. To be something out of this world, something we've never experienced. Who knows? David, since being diagnosed, I've found myself automatically avoiding stress and people. I just crave peace. Really looking forward to better weather in the UK. I've heard it's been really bad. To get outside, to be free. I like it. I think stress is a really interesting one, because it is terrifying in that moment. It is, however, something that we can control. Like, really can. It's not something that we have to hold. We can take stress as a rock and carry it on our back and be like, hey, this is my stress stuff. Or we can kind of work to remove that or mitigate some of it in many, many different ways. Doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It does exist. And it is something that we will always be tested with. And that is always relative to the individual. But craving peace. I am quite a firm believer that, I might have mentioned this before on my channel. I know there's some regulars on here, so I'm sorry if you've heard it before, but I'm a firm believer that the whole question of, what do you want to be in life? And almost always you'll get somebody, and when you boil it down to what they want, it comes to happiness. Just, I want to be happy. And I'm a firm believer that happiness is a false summit. It's something that we go, okay, that is what it is to be happy. I'm going to work towards that. And that is good. However, you get to that, and then because of how we're set up psychologically, we're then looking for the next thing to make us happy. And gradually our happiness in our current life starts to dwindle, and we're then like, okay, I need to get to the next summit. I need to find that happiness. And so it's a false summit. We can never truly get to it. And if we recognize that to have happiness, we have to have sadness, we can't just be living in happiness, it's a losing battle, right? So my belief is that what we should all be striving for in life is to find peace in whatever life throws at us. Because life will throw stuff at us. And if we can sit in peace with life as it is, then that's great. We're not living out of fear, right? Or discomfort. And step one for finding peace is recognizing that the less resistance that we offer to life as it is, whatever it throws at us, the more peace we find. So when things come along and they test us, instead of being like, oh, this is really bad, this is a struggle, this is awful, the less we do that, and the less we recognize that these negatives are actually a positive as well to us, the more peace you find. And then you can make life choices from a position of peace, which generally speaking are far more productive, far more calculated, rather than making snap decisions or snap actions based out of stress and fear. And that's how I find you have to change perception. You have to change the perspective in order to be able to find peace, especially if happiness is fleeting. We can't have it. Let's have a look. Thanks for the comments, guys. Yeah, if you have any questions, chuck them in the comments. More than happy to answer. Had a bit of sunshine recently, which was nice. Does wonders for the mind, getting out and enjoying being outside. It's huge. It is huge. Like, we are not an indoor species. We have spent pretty much our entire evolutionary history outside. And yet now we have this almost like a pandemic of people just spending all day, every day inside. And I'm guilty of that as well. Sadly, the world that we live in the Western world in particular, is far more, it is created around being inside, and productivity is about being inside. And that's that whole industrialization of the world of, factory producing Victorians. So it's so important. And SAD, seasonal affective disorder, so people, it's a real thing for sure. Interestingly, so we, especially in England's a really good example actually. So in the south, the weather kind of, it doesn't get crazy good, and it doesn't get crazy bad. So you kind of shuffle between those two boundaries. And so that adjusts how we do things socially. So when it comes to winter, we've still got this drive to try and make the most of the good weather. So we get out and about, and we kind of almost try to live our summer life in our winter life. If you look at other countries like Scandinavian countries, when winter comes along, the winters are harsh, and so they basically shut down for the winter. They're like, okay, well, it's dark, it's cold, we'll stay inside at home and we'll do some knitting and we'll just have that quiet period, almost like hibernation for the winter. And so they, proportionally speaking, have far less SAD, seasonal affective disorder, than we do in the UK, despite their weather being far worse and having less sunshine. Just interesting little tidbit that I've come across. I thought, that's fascinating. Let's have a look. Think, if I could be an animal, I'd want to be a horse. Beautiful animals. Horses, yes. Yeah, they are stunning. I used to look after horses. Beautiful animals. My winters here in Canada are so deep and long. But with copious sunshine. Yeah, I think having like crisp, clear winters is really powerful for the soul. When you have cold, wet, dark, windy winters, that is just a struggle. My parents live in the islands north of Scotland, and for them, like, the weather is just a challenge near enough on a daily basis. So high winds a lot of the time, because the Atlantic, the winds, there's nothing stopping them before they hit the island, so they get hammered heavily, and then they have their winters are harsh and their summers, they're not really particularly warm. You still got the winds to deal with. It's just a harsh existence in a day-to-day basis, and that has a huge impact. In my region, there's about 320 sunny days a year. Wow. Where are you? That sounds great. That sounds incredible. Team. So, we're up to an hour now, so I'm probably going to call it a day soon. If you do have any last questions in Alberta, nice. I've never been to Canada. I almost got a job out there, but ended up not taking it. I will probably call it a day soon. If you do have any questions, chuck them in the comments. I'll quickly answer those. And if it's something you're not happy to share publicly, send me a message on Instagram. More than happy to help you out if I can. In Blackburn, we get about 3 sunny days a year. In Blackburn, man, yes, I've heard interesting weather stories about that area. I used to live in the Lake District up in Ambleside, and yeah, the weather was either really nice or really bad, because it either gets, all the rain dumps on the hills, so you don't really get that bad, or you get it dumped in the valley, and then it's a lot of rain. It's interesting. Hugs to George. Thanks for sharing the nice. Anytime. I am doing this every single day on a Monday. Every single day on a Monday. That makes no sense. My brain is pretty. Every now and again, I get a brain fart. So I do this every single Monday at about 10 o'clock. I keep it pretty chilled. If you do have any questions, like I said, chuck them in the comments or send me a message. Love to help. I will be opening up my my consultations this afternoon. So if it is something that you want help with, if life is being a challenge for you and you need some guidance or support or tools to be able to navigate that with peace, more than happy. I offer like a 30-minute free consultation specifically to work with your situation, and then if people want to work on from that, they're more than welcome to. Okay, team. Well, thank you for joining in on another George Live, whatever this is. I always find them really odd because it's like I'm just talking to myself, but then I'm talking to you, people from around the world. Phenomenal. Alrighty, guys, sending you lots of love, and maybe see you in the next one. I'd love to have you. Take care, team.